Hello, welcome to the JV show. This is Jorge
This is Viv.
with food in her mouth, and then this week we have Lynn.
Hello.
So
back.
Lynn's back. She's back for an event in Edmonton, our friend's
Yep,
wedding.
our friend's getting married tomorrow.
Yep. So she's here for the weekend, so it should be fun.
Yep, it's gonna be good.
Pretty much anytime Lynn's around, we just get her on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're obsessed with me.
Yep.
I tried to avoid it this time, and then Viv's like, just come, We'll change the time.
She didn't try very hard. When's your significant other coming?
Tomorrow afternoon
Oh.
at 4.
Oh, so you're gonna go to the ceremony, go pick
Yeah.
him up, and then go to
Yes.
the evening thing.
Yes.
Nice.
Wait, I thought the evening thing was at 4.
Is it? I was
You
at
have
6.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't have it.
we'll figure it out. We'll figure this shit out, guys. Anyways, we'll start with how our week was. I'll start first. So we had Canada Day long weekend. I didn't really do much for Canada Day. Just went and hung out at a friend's house. There was a couple hailstorms and a couple tornadoes. Did you guys hear about that?
mm-hmm.
It was between
Airdrie and somewhere else, right?
between Red Deer and Calgary, and then north of Calgary. That's pretty intense. Like I always had a like a weird fear of it. Like whenever there's dark clouds and hailstorm, I'd like go to the basement and watch TV instead because it's like quote unquote dangerous to be upstairs and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was. I mean, like now I think back, I was like, okay, that was kind of dumb. But at the same time, I live in the basement anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I went climbing the next day, and then hung out with my friends afterwards. Kind of like a post Canada Day thing. Just ate food and played some board games and shit. That was pretty fun. This week in volleyball, I played complete dog shit, but that's okay. We'll figure it out next week.
What else is new?
Oh, come on, bro. Shut the fuck up right now. And then, what was next? Oh, work was very lame. I didn't really do much this week. Like, everyone was off, pretty much. So, I had today off. Today's Friday, and then Monday was off for Canada Day. So, it was a 3-day week. So, pretty much everyone else took that time off. So, no, not much work got done this week. Today, I had a very interesting day. So, today I woke up late. I forgot why. I slept late because I had volleyball yesterday. But I woke up late, and then I went to take my e-scooter to go to yoga. Did yoga, and then I e-scootered to my friend's house. It's like near White Ave, like a little bit further south from White Ave. I want to say like 5-ish minutes south of White Ave. Went there. He was still busy at work, so I couldn't drop it off. So I'm gonna meet him next week. And then I was gonna scooter back for a massage.
You didn't ask him if he was there before you went over?
No, I asked. He said he was gonna be there, but then some stuff happened at work, and then he just couldn't make it. So I scooted back, and then my scooter started running out of battery. I was like, oh, fuck. So I had to call my dad. I was like, hey, can you pick me up? And then he picked me up where my mom works. But then I had to like reschedule my massage because it was like I like planned it so like right when I left at my friend's place, I'd get back. If my scooter had or had enough battery, I'd get back to the massage place just in time. But it didn't work out, so I had to like reschedule that shit. I was like, fuck, I'm stranded with my scooter, guys. But yeah, good thing my dad came and picked me up. It was weird too because once it started getting low battery, it also like didn't keep up with the max speed. So I was like, god damn it, I can't make it back in time. Because I was like, I've never rode it that much where it almost died, so I didn't know it actually drained the speed that much. So I had to like reschedule my massage for like 3 weeks from now because it was like fully booked.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I was pretty sad about that. And then that kind of derailed my whole day. So then I was like, fuck, I can't even make my meal plan food because I had to like get food in downtown. I got home pretty late too because I had to wait for my mom to get off work also.
Why?
Because my dad was picking me up there. And then it was like she was getting off like in half an hour from when he picked me up. So he's like, oh, I might as well stay and wait.
Right.
So I just went to get like a Viet sub instead. So there's no meal prep today either. Everything got fucked up today. And then obviously, because I played bad at volleyball, I was pretty sad yesterday. So yeah. But yeah, that was my week so far.
Why did you play bad volleyball?
I just suck.
Want to talk about it?
No, I don't really want to talk about it right now.
Is it rusty or?
I'm over it. I'm over it. Okay. I'm over it. So how about you, Lynn? How's your week?
On the contrary, I did great at volleyball this week. I hit a ball, the hardest I've ever swung a ball,
Whoa.
and it was fantastic. It got the point. I screamed, and it was great. What a great feeling. I mean, Jorge probably hits those every time, but it's my first time. It's
Copium.
That's my first time ever hitting a ball that hard, so it's just pretty good.
Did
Also,
it go down?
huh?
Did it go down?
Yeah, it was like a T line. I didn't bounce it.
It was a T line.
It was also grass, so the net's shorter.
Oh,
So all of
good
these
time.
Edmonton people have been kind of making fun of me for playing grass volleyball because Vancouver, that's kind of where everyone plays in the summer. No one really plays indoor. So yeah, I tried to sign up for an indoor team and they had to cancel it because nobody like signed up. Like there wasn't enough teams because everyone's either playing beach or grass because that's like the peak thing in Vancouver. So yeah, I also had a 3-day week because I was off today, and Monday was the holiday. The Canada weekend I spent with some Edmonton people, actually, funny enough, on a yacht in Vancouver. So
A yacht.
yeah, my friend, she bought these tickets for like a yacht party, Canada Day yacht party, and we all were there.
Wait, is it like free drinks or some shit?
It wasn't okay. So I don't know why I paid like $70 for this ticket. I thought it was open bar, but it wasn't. It was like $5, $6, $7 for a drink.
They give you food?
No, there's no food either. So there's literally a DJ, and there's 3 floors. The bottom floor is like a lounge, there's like couches and stuff, and then you can sit and chill and talk to people. The middle floor was a supposed EDM floor, and then the top floor, which is like open deck kind of area, it was like pop culture, pop music, top 40 kind of music.
Wait, did they sell you guys food?
No, there's nothing. There was no food options, so you had to eat before. It was all alcohol on the boat. But the voyage was only like 4 hours, so that's whatever.
4 hours and they didn't even sell
And there's
food?
no snacks.
No, nothing. There's like just drinks.
That's really.
But
weird.
the view was really cool. Like it went from Cole Harbor to around like kind of Stanley Park, and then around kind of some of those container ships, and then back to Cole Harbor. So it's kind of cool.
You got scammed $70.
I mean, the experience was cool because it was once. It's kind of like I probably won't ever do it again. So I've never been out in the ocean that far, so it's pretty cool.
yacht party's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then the only shitty thing was the music. The music was good for like 3 hours, and then the last hour, I don't know what happened. I think he ran out of songs or something because he started playing like the EDM, because we were on the EDM floor. He started playing like pop, top 40, old school retro music, and I was like, wait a minute, this is not like, it was like Backstreet Boys and like Journey, and I'm like, it's not EDM.
I like Backstreet Boys and Journey, but like, what the fuck?
No, but it was like EDM. It was like Zed. It was like a bass drop, and then there was like I want it. Like it's weird. It was weird. I don't know.
That's when you know it's time to go home.
But then yeah, that was like the last hour, so we were like, okay, we're bored now, and then we just basically chatted until the boat docked again, and then we just left.
Wait, were there fireworks or some shit?
There also was not fireworks. So on the
Why are you
ad,
on this?
I'm pretty sure it said it was like a great view of the fireworks. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it said that. And I was, oh, that's pretty cool. And I didn't even realize until after we got home, like the next day. And I said to Zach, I was like, wait a minute, there was no fireworks yesterday. What the heck? And I was like, damn, that's so sad.
Scammed.
But I think it wasn't that bad for the experience, like just being out there, because it was like sunset and the golden hour, so that was
Yeah.
like pretty cool. And we
that
went
sounds so
under
nice.
the Lionsgate Bridge, like that was really cool, the sunset. But I think it was worth the money. Just it's like a one-time thing. Like I don't think I would do it again, but it was like that was really cool. That's it for me. I don't think that was the highlight of my week, being on a yacht. That was crazy.
How was your week? Like your week?
Individual days. Oh, we played some volleyball, made some food. I was flying out today, so I didn't really like cook that much just because it's gonna go bad. But I kind of ate out here and there, downtown. That was nice.
What's the spot? What's your favorite place to eat downtown?
My favorite place downtown has been Ebiton. It's like a Japanese fast food place, and it's like they have sushi and takoyaki and whatever rice bowls, and it's like really cheap. It's like for a katsu curry bowl, it's like $13 for like a big portion.
Oh,
And their California rolls and yam tempura rolls only $3.
I like that burrito place we went. I don't know. I don't think I went with you. I went.
Burrito.
Taco Fino.
Yeah.
That place is really good.
Tacofino was really good.
Oh, those burritos were so good.
Yeah, I agree. I've been to the original one in Tofino. It's like a food truck.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think I've ever waited that long for food. The line was like we think we waited like an hour and a half.
Oh, that
for,
feels like
tacos.
that feels like it's not worth it anymore at that
It
point.
is
though.
worth it though because it was like if you're there, you have to go try this taco place.
I'm at Tofino for some reason.
But you should go to Tofino. It's really nice actually. It's
What does there do there?
It's like a beach town. Surfing, being in the
Oh.
beach, water.
like
and it's
drinking
just
water.
Like, huh?
I like drinking water.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just nice. It's like a nice little beach town vibes.
I see. I
And
see.
there's hiking and camping and stuff there.
Maybe.
Sounds pretty nice.
You, Viv?
I went camping over the weekend.
Nice. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. It rained most of the time. We did have a couple hours like during the day when there was no rain at all and it was decently sunny, and some of the people would pass along a volleyball, or we'd sit along the campfire and just talk and hang out and do like just stupid shit. But it was actually a lot of fun. We prepared a lot of good food. We had a hot pot, Korean barbecue, pho flavored congee, but like pho inspired. And then we also had hamburgers and banana boats, which they're not the banana boats that you're thinking of, because I was thinking of the banana splits, like where you have ice cream, whipped cream, cherries, and all that shit. But it's where you slice a banana down lengthwise, you hollow out the inside a little bit, you put chocolate chips and marshmallows in there, and then you cover the whole thing up in tinfoil and you roast it. It actually tasted pretty decent. And then I saw something on TikTok where people used croissants instead of graham crackers for s'mores. And I fucking love croissants, so we tried that and it was so freaking good. I added strawberries on the inside too, and it was so good. It reminded me of a Hazukito.
Oh, you know what? I'm going camping next weekend. I might do that. That sounds
You
fire.
should do it. You should do it. Sounds very good. Or
I did
it
the
was
hack.
very good.
I've done the hack last summer where it's s'mores inside an ice cream cone, like a waffle cone, and you put the marshmallows and chocolate inside. Then you wrap it up with aluminum foil, and then it's like a package, and you put it on the barbecue or over the fire, and then you unwrap it. And it's like already wrapped for you, and you just eat it.
That was so good.
Also, I was gonna ask you about hot pot when you're camping. How did you get where'd you pour the soup? You just put it in the outhouse, or how'd you clean? Like, I feel like hot pots are really messy. How did you guys clean that stuff when you're camping?
Okay, everyone has plastic plates and plastic utensils and everything, and then you pour your sauce into the one bowl that you have. Okay, and then the only thing to actually clean up and wash would be the 2 pots that you use.
Okay, but how did you clean the pot?
I believe they just poured it down the drain. Not in the washrooms or anything, but like the sewer drains.
I wouldn't even do that. I would just pour it over the fire.
Or yeah, you can pour it anywhere really.
What kind of camping is it? Like, you have tents and stuff, right? Obviously.
Yeah, we had tents, and
But there was like plumbing bathrooms and
plumbing
showers?
bathrooms,
Oh,
plumbing
okay.
showers. There was electricity outlets, like little like
glamping.
like no, it's not glamping because we stayed in tents.
That's still
But you
glamping.
just what? No, it's not.
Okay, I went backpacking 2 weeks ago to the mountains. There was
Okay.
nothing. You
All
just,
right, that's fucking wilderness. You
that's
want to practice
camping.
being
Did you
homeless?
dig a hole?
well, there's electricity. That's glamping. I've never camped with electricity.
No, it's like a little power box that sticks out from the ground, and you could use that to plug in
Like charge your phone and stuff.
charge your phone. But it's outside of our tents.
Yeah, it's glamping.
And we would use that to like plug in the stove
Yeah, it's
for
glamping.
that's not
It's
glamping.
glamping.
Glamping is when you have
That's like a type of glamping.
no, I don't think so. It's just a power
anything-
outlet.
Oh, here's a good hot take, guys. Anything with electricity,
I go rent
feel
a
like is
fucking
glamping.
campsite and then see.
No,
it's-
but I feel like anything with electricity is already glamping.
Yeah, that's the
Nah.
Because
bare-
you can charge stuff, but versus like camping, the point is like you're in the wilderness.
we didn't have signal.
No, I think that's
Yeah.
different.
I
I
think
think what
it's
you're
definitely
what
different.
you're thinking was outback camping.
No, but
Yeah.
even on a regular drive-in
No, but
campsite,
glamping
there's
is
no
different though.
electricity.
If
No,
you
there
book
is.
glamping sites, it's considered a whole different thing.
Well, I've never camped anywhere where there's like electricity outlets. That's fancy.
No, if you
Bougie
book campsite,
fancy,
most
no?
campsites
BC, there's
have.
none. Well, I've camped a few places in BC, and there's.
Is there
I've
a-
never camped in Alberta, so maybe that's why. But in BC, even the drive-up sites, like Golden Ears Park, you just drive because you guys like drive up to the campsite. It's like a flat
It's like
ground.
flat
Patch,
piece
right?
of area.
Yeah, so I've
surrounded
done
by
that in Golden
trees.
Ears where it's
And
kind
then
of like.
just imagine a tiny little outlet sticking out from the ground, and that's it.
You know, yeah, I've
That's not
never,
glamping, though, I wouldn't
no,
say.
I've never done that. Maybe
Oh.
BC. Maybe BC is not popular or something.
Sounds like you were underprepared.
No, we are.
I always bring battery
Backpack.
packs and shit, and then
Yeah.
you just hook that up, and then when that's low, you just hook it up so you plug it in.
Oh, we have nothing that needs to be plugged in though. We don't bring anything that needs to be plugged in.
Oh, sounds like you guys are unprepared.
No.
Yeah, that's what we did. And then we just drank and played a lot of games. And it was a lot of freaking fun.
Damn, how was cosplaying homeless? How was the sleeping part?
It was actually not bad. We all stayed in, there was 11 of us, and we all stayed in one giant ass tent, except for 2 people who slept in their car. And then in the tent had a little divider, which divided the tent in half. So we had the couple stay on one side and then everyone else on the other side. And there were some air mattresses, and it was actually pretty cozy, aside from the fact that the floor got a little bit wet because it was raining all the time. But we were on tarps and like sleeping bags and everything, so like nothing got soaked except maybe like the edges of your sleeping bag underneath your pillow, but you wouldn't be able to feel it.
Yeah, I didn't know tents weren't like waterproof completely.
Not
Like
fully.
when I went backpacking, it's kind of like the dew in the morning would get on the edge of the tent. And
Yeah,
then
that's
my
exactly
head,
what
like
came
my
in.
sleeping mat that was touching the side of the tent was like wet, and I was like, "Why is it
Yeah.
wet in here?" And then like our condensation because we're breathing too. I like didn't realize that was a
Yeah,
thing.
exactly what happened. But it was not that bad. It was a lot of fun actually. And then
Are you exaggerating? I feel like the rain would make it so shitty.
like
I
it
agree.
definitely could have been warmer, but I think that I thought it would have been worse with the amount of rain that we had. Or if you told me that it was raining the exact amount that we had, I would have expected it to be a lot worse. But I feel like everyone liked it and everyone made the best out of it. And when it rained the hardest was when we were having hot pot, and it was just so nice because we brought a gazebo, so we were all just sitting on the gazebo, eating hot pot and drinking and doing all that stuff, and it was really relaxing actually because it wasn't even cold either.
That's good.
Or
Well, it's
that
not cold.
cold.
If it was cold, that's shitty.
It was a little bit cold, but like not that cold. Like
Yeah.
I would wear this and I'd be fine.
Yeah, when I went backpacking last weekend or 2 weekends ago, we went to the Garibaldi, which is like a huge lake that's like really crystal clear. It's blue and everything. And then we had to hike to the campsite from the car with all of our shit on our bags. So my backpack was like 27 pounds, all my stuff in it. And then we had to hike up. Basically, it was like a stair climber for like 20 kilometers. We had to hike to their campsite. And then once you go to the campsite, you have to like set up your tent on this. It's like a piece of wood that's elevated, and then you set up your tent on there, so it's it's warmer, so you're not on the ground. But the shitty thing about backpacking is that you can't eat at your campsite. You have to there's like a designated area in front of the kind of the trail where you have to eat because there's bears, right? And then you can't. There's no garbage. There's basically nothing, right? So except for those pads, so you have to put all your trash and everything in bags, and then you have to tie it up on really high onto the tree. Same with all of your food, all of your anything scented, you have to tie it up on there. So after we ate dinner, and you can't have a campfire either, which really sucked. So then basically when it gets dark, you just go to sleep.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
Yeah.
So it's I like the camping part. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. But then the actual, because the thing I like about hiking or camping is the hanging out around the fire part, and chilling, and we couldn't do that. So I'm kind of oh, this is kind of shitty. But the actual hike itself, the second day we hiked up to the summit, which is 1,500 meters elevation. We climbed a mountain basically, and on top of the peak, it was so beautiful. You could see all the other mountains, and you could see all of the lake, and it was crystal clear. It was blue. It looked like a postcard.
Oh wait, could you do that whole hike in one day?
You can, but it's gonna take the whole day, 10 hours or something.
Oh.
It's better to sleep there, camp by night, and then make sure you have food and stuff, so you're not, because I wouldn't do that whole hike with a backpack on, because that was really that would have been really shitty.
But you would have brought less stuff.
Yeah, that's true, but it would still be heavy. At least you can put your stuff down, because we had a day bag, which is just a snack and a flashlight and a first aid kit.
But if
and water.
it's a whole day, you would just need a day bag.
Yeah, but it's long. It's probably super tiring, because it'd be 40 kilometers one way.
Is it 40?
So
No way.
So it's from the parking lot to the campsite is 20 one way. From the campsite to the peak was 30.
Oh, really?
So it's 50. Yeah, it would be 50 kilometers one way basically. But there's some overlap, so yeah, probably 40 one way. And it was 3 hours to the campsite,
Holy cow.
3 or 4 hours to the peak. So you'd have to get there like if you're doing one day. And my friend Kevin actually did it in one day, and he said
Yeah.
it was fucking shitty because it's so tiring. Like it's better to kind of chill and relax and then do the second part because it's probably like a 12-hour thing if you do it, because then when you go up there you stop and then you chill and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And yeah,
Damn.
but you need to be prepared because we had these like water filter things. Like you can drink the stream water because it's clean, like it's clear, but you have to filter all like the bacteria and whatever from it. So we had to have this thing that like pumped the water into our water bottles. Like that was kind of cool. We drank from a waterfall. It was like kind of sick.
Oh,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah. I mean, I have no aspirations to go backpacking like that.
I think it was fun, but I think I would only do it like once a year because that's like it was so much work for like I thought very little reward. But
Yeah.
my friends go like 3-4 times a year. So
Yeah, I would do
if
like
you wanna do it.
once every like 5 years or some shit like that.
Shut up.
I mean, even camping itself, I feel like I'm so not into it anymore. Just because, I don't know, it's just the whole fucking role playing homeless is just
Even
kinda
glamping
tough.
outside with electricity and hot potting.
Why
That's
just get a
not fun.
fucking
But you're
cottage?
outside.
Why don't you just get a cottage? You can get a
The
You're
vibe's
cottage.
in
different, the vibe's
nature.
You can
but
be in
actually,
cottage
I
in
think
nature.
that it was a lot of fun, but I think that I would have an equal amount of fun if I was in a cabin.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, you
So
can
I
still
would-
have the campfire outside.
Yeah, you still have the campfire side. You still kind of get the camping elements, but you get more like warmth when you're sleeping. But actually, it was pretty okay. The tent. There was part of me that expected to never want to camp again after this trip because I haven't camped in so long.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually wouldn't mind doing this as a yearly thing after this because it was actually a lot of fun.
Damn, you're sold. They got you.
I'm sold. Okay, and then throughout this week, I had physio on Tuesday.
How's your fucked up finger?
Still fucked up.
Damn.
I got a new splint that is a little bit more aggressive on straightening my finger. And then the new plan that we're going with is that if my finger doesn't essentially stay straight without the cast in for after 2 hours, which is around the ballpark that we're going to time it for, then I'm going to go get it casted. And it's going to stay casted for about a month. Because right now it doesn't stay straight unless it's in the splint, which is an issue, obviously, because the tendon on the inside of my finger wants to constantly shorten out of trauma. And if that happens, then I need to keep it permanently in a cast for about a month so that it can stop doing that. And so right now we've opted, before we try that, we're going to try to have my finger in the splint 24/7 unless I'm actively doing physio or doing something where I can't wear the splint, like washing my hands or showering or playing volleyball, which is the other excuse, or working out. Other than that, I have to keep this in a splint all the time now.
Damn.
Yeah, unfortunate. And it does hurt.
Like,
But,
there's pain when you put it in the splint, or what?
yeah, like right now I feel pain along like the inside of my like tendons. Like along
Damn.
the inside of my palm and along the sides.
That seems very uncomfortable of a situation.
It really is. And this week other than that, I did have really good workouts.
Nice.
And yesterday I had a really solid leg workout, or I did back-to-back legs. I did legs on Wednesday and I did legs on Thursday. And afterwards I played volleyball, and our volleyball game was pretty ass. I tilted for the first time in a while, and I kind of yelled at one of my teammates.
She's toxic. She's a toxic player now.
He kept receiving the ball with his one hand, and it kept shanking.
She's a toxic player
And
now.
then after like 4
fuck?
times, I was like, 2 hands!
No one wants to play with her now.
I always say that the first time. It's so nice.
I mean, like the first time, sometimes it's just reaction based, right? Like you just can't get it sometimes.
Fair.
But then after the second time, it's like, okay, maybe it was just another off ball. And the third time, someone else on my team told him to use 2 hands. I was like, okay, I don't need to say anything. After a while, I was like, all right, some adjustments need to be made. But yeah.
Toxic
I
player,
tilted, I
guys.
was
She's
dead.
toxic now. She's
And then
changed.
today I had a really great day. I started the day off with a cold plunge, or what yesterday ended off on a better note because I felt really exhausted at the end of the day because I did a really good leg workout after like back-to-back legs, And then I played volleyball. And then because we lost so fucking fast, we had 20 minutes to just do whatever the fuck we want. So we just hit some balls. And that was really good for getting some of my frustrations out from volleyball. And I was sweating buckets from that, which always feels really good to expend a lot of energy. And then after that, I went to go home and shower and stuff, and went along to go pick up Noelle from the airport.
Oh, you came back yesterday?
So I landed yesterday. Dude, my flight, I felt so bad. So my flight was supposed to be 9:30, and Rstar was gonna pick me up. And then 9:30 became 10:30, became 11, became 11:30, became 12.
Yeah.
Finally, it was 12:30. So I got on my flight at 10, and I was supposed to get on at 7:30, but I got on at 10 instead. And then I kept telling Rstar, I'm like, oh my god, like, you don't. By the way, you don't have to pick me up because it's so late. Because I'm landing at like almost 1 a.m. Like it's literally fine. I'll just take an Uber or something, right? He said, oh no, it's fine. So then when I finally landed, I go wait for him upstairs. And then in this car, I see like a second person in the car. So then I thought it was his wife that was in the car. And I was like, oh, that's weird. That's weird that she would come to the airport with him, right? And then the window rolled down and I was like, it's me, bitch. And it was Viv. I was like, wow, what a great surprise.
Usually I'm always the one to go pick up Noelle from the airport. And this one fucking time she wanted to ask Rstar. And I was like,
we're best friends.
What the fuck? Okay. I feel like it's almost tradition on my side to always be there when you land at the airport now when you're in Edmonton. So I have to be there.
That is fair. That is fair. But Rstar wanted donuts. And I promised him donuts, so.
Oh, what kind of donuts did you get?
Mellow.
Mellow? Oh, damn. What was it? Did he say it was worth it? The donuts for the ride? Nice. Okay. Well, I mean, as long as it was worth it, right?
As long as it was worth it. It was good.
Then, so I was pretty happy by the end of the night because of all those things. And then this morning, I started cold plunging about like the end of March, I believe. And today, I finally was able to cold plunge for 2 minutes and 15 seconds, which is my new personal record for cold plunging. And it felt so fucking good.
Is this like literally you're in a bathtub with cold water?
Yep.
Jesus.
You soak for 2 minutes. And if you look up the scientific studies on it and the benefits that you get out of it, it's great. And I'm kind of surprised that you're not doing it already, Alvin.
I mean, I do the steam and I can't afford to do the cold plunge. There's no viable way to get that working economically.
Don't you have a bathtub?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna empty it every fucking day just to get.
Don't empty it every fucking day.
What do you mean?
How do I shower?
Oh, you shower, right?
Dumbass. So Viv probably has a separate shower and bathtub, so she can leave the cold plunge in the whole time.
And I'm like clean when I go in, or sometimes I like, take a rinse.
So there's no economic way for me to do it.
A cold shower.
No, it's not the same.
Cold showers still work, but they're not the same.
Not the same. You have to do the super cold plunge, like
too many variables.
Almost freezing, and then that I feel like that's the only way to really get the true benefit.
I heard you can do it with your face, just your face too.
Yeah.
Like get a bucket.
Face works really well too.
I mean,
if you want some benefits,
if you're gonna do it,
face, guys.
If you're gonna do it,
if you want some more benefits, do the shower. If you want to do the real thing, do the fucking plunge.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, you might as well go all the way. But
I do use the roller thing. I put it in the freezer and then I do it on my face after I put my.
This sounds like fake science, guys. Really good for your skin. The roller thing.
Yeah. I forget what it's called. The jade roller.
How the fuck do you guys know it's good for you? Is there like
the cold part? That's.
What's cold in skin? Like, what's the science behind that?
It tightens the pores because you're freeze shocking it or something.
Yeah, and it increases circulation.
This sounds like some woo science, guys.
It's not woo science.
All right, let me show me the facts about skin and cold, face and cold exposure.
All right. Well, anyway, so that was the start of my day, and then after I was done that, I made oatmeal, which I don't eat oatmeal that often because it's a lot of complex carbs, and I like to split my carbs into like dessert during the day. But then I was like, you know what? I'm craving oatmeal, and I fucking love oatmeal. So that was like a treat in the morning. That made me super happy. And then I worked from home today, so then I spent most of the day with Lumi, which also made me happy. I walked her at lunch, and that was it. It was just a really solid day.
Nice. I was gonna have a solid day until my fucking scooter broke down. Not broke down, but ran out of battery. I was like, fuck. Only if it didn't, it would have been great. Would have got my massage in.
If only.
But it is what it is. So, Lynn, what's your hot take?
So I saw this post recently on Daily Hive about how this person went to a wedding and they didn't have any alcohol, zero alcohol. And I feel like it's probably social norm for weddings to have alcohol, right?
Like the wedding didn't have alcohol, or the person didn't drink
The
alcohol?
wedding had no alcohol at the venue. Like it was a dry wedding. And so on this post, it said that the guy kind of made a big deal about it to his friend who was the groom, and was like, "Hey, like, where's the alcohol?" And he's, "Oh, like, she doesn't, like, the wife, she doesn't drink, so we made it, her family doesn't drink, so we made it a dry wedding." And he kind of was like, "Dude, what the fuck? You should have told us earlier that there's no alcohol, because then we wouldn't have all Ubered here, we wouldn't have got hotel rooms." Like, it doesn't, like, it seems like, it almost seems like you should say something to your guests if you're not gonna have alcohol. But then I guess he said it kind of in a rude way, and then the bride was like, "Hey, you can fucking leave then if you don't want to be here," and then he like left. So I'm just curious. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about that?
Like, do you think it's appropriate to at least mention that there's no alcohol and stuff?
I think it would have been appropriate to put on the invite or something, that just to tell people that there's no alcohol, because I think it is, you can always assume that there's alcohol at a wedding, because that seems normal, right?
I mean, if I go to a Muslim wedding, I'm not really expecting.
Yeah, but I don't know, I guess
Like if you go to a wedding where the people are ultra religious, where they don't have alcohol,
but people that are religious, some of them do drink, like casually, like they're not gonna get blasted,
yeah,
but they're still gonna drink, right?
No, but if they're like ultra
Yeah,
religious, certain religions they don't
that's
have
true.
it, right?
But it depends on. But if the friend was already assuming that there would be alcohol, I guess he didn't, because I guess the groom drinks, right? So is it, would it be respectable for them to have said something on the invite, or do you think that's just him being a dick?
I mean, fuck, it's not even. Isn't this just like like they're both right and they're both wrong in their own way type of situation? Not really like oh shit, this is. Like, okay, so
how would you feel if you went to a wedding? Like, let's say we went tomorrow.
I'd be fucking so happy.
And there's no alcohol.
I'd be fucking happy.
I'd be happy too. I would
like, fuck that, I don't want to drink that much.
I wouldn't be upset, because the reason why you're going to the wedding is to celebrate your friends getting married. That's the main reason. I would think it's weird as fuck, though.
But you wouldn't make a scene about it. That is the wrong
That's
part.
your choice.
Yeah, that is the weird thing.
To have alcohol or not alcohol. The main thing is to celebrate your friends getting married.
It is shitty though that if you were to all Uber there and you all got like hotel rooms or something downtown.
I mean,
and then you're like, "Oh shit, I didn't have to waste." His point was, I didn't have to spend this money if you just told me. Like, that was why he was pissed off.
Would it be the onus on him to ask?
Yeah.
But I guess it's one of those things that, like, I'm not gonna ask Lorraine to, "Hey, by the way, there's alcohol, right?" Because you just assume that there's alcohol.
That's true. You do assume that there's alcohol, but then it's also like, you're taking it upon yourself to book those hotel rooms and get the Uber and everything.
Yeah.
Because he could go there and it could be a tunu bar, or all alcohol could be regular price. And I'm sure he wouldn't be getting butt ass wasted at that point to need
like before he booked a hotel, when he asked, be like, "Hey, I'm about to book this hotel for your wedding. Like, you know, is there going to be alcohol and stuff?" No, I don't know.
I feel weird though to ask that. I wouldn't ask that unless I know that they're religious.
If I lived in Edmonton and I'm going to book a hotel in Edmonton for a wedding, I would ask that. Because I'm like, bruh, why would I even book a hotel anyways?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, let's say you're not in Edmonton though. Let's say you're...
Well, I mean, if I'm coming from somewhere else, I need a hotel anyways.
No, but like, no, I think... Okay, so like, for example, Edmonton's kind of small, right? If you're in Vancouver, if my wedding's in downtown Vancouver, and you live in Langley, that's like an hour drive, right? You're not gonna want to drive that after getting either blasted or you're late. You're like super out late. You don't want to make that drive back. So then that makes sense.
No, it doesn't. I still don't think it makes sense.
But even tomorrow,
I would rather sleep in my own fucking bed.
Even literally tomorrow, a few of them booked hotel room for tomorrow night.
Yeah, because they know there's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been known. Like, they said that there's gonna be alcohol.
Yeah, but you just said you.
Like, it would be the onus is on the people who booked the hotel to ask, like, is there alcohol and stuff, right? That's what I feel. Like, if you live in the same city.
Yeah.
If you live in a different city, you have to book a hotel anyway. So that part doesn't really fucking
I think
matter.
you're right. Like, it is, both of them are right and both of them are wrong at the same time.
I think the people who booked the hotel are more wrong, if that makes sense. Because they should have just, like, if they live in the same city as them, they should have just asked, right?
No, I don't agree with that. I think it's weird to ask, but he shouldn't have made a scene. That was the wrong thing.
No,
Yeah, I think regardless, you don't fucking make a scene
Yeah, at
anywhere.
someone else's
like,
wedding.
Like
Yeah.
at somebody's wedding, or in most cases anywhere, nothing requires you to make a scene.
Yeah.
Really.
but if you had to book a hotel in the same city you're living in, I feel like it's kind of on you to ask that question.
Depends on the people though, right? The couple.
I don't know, man.
I would not ask. Like that's something I wouldn't ask. You just
Really?
assume. It seems like something that you assume, unless you know that the couple is really religious. That's the only time I think I would ask.
Okay, so the next question would be like, how close was this person who made the scene with the groom?
Yeah,
Because
that's true.
if he was that close to them, then he would have known the bride and her whole family doesn't drink, so then it would have brought up in conversation somewhere. But if he's not close at all, it's kind of like me asking a friend that's not that close to come to my wedding. I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck about you.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true
it's up
too.
to you
Yeah.
to decide your shit, right?
You're just
No,
invited.
I
However
think-
you want to take care of yourself. It's
I
how you take
definitely think
care of
the hotel booking people are more wrong than the couple.
Yeah.
The onus is on them. I mean, if that person didn't know that the bride's whole family didn't drink, that's, I mean, you don't really know them that well.
Yeah. That's true.
That's what I think, at least, for that hot take.
Not a hot take. I was curious about people's opinions on it.
I see. No, I think,
This is like a weird situation.
yeah. I mean, I feel like people. Okay, it feels like pre-COVID, people made a big deal out of everything.
People
And then COVID happened and people couldn't make a big deal because there's something a bigger deal. And then now that COVID's kind of over, people are back to making a big deal out of nothing. And then now that like social media is even more hyped up, it's easier for them to make content out of that big deals.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they mean almost nothing. Like it's like drama for drama, not for anything, if that makes sense.
I feel like I am also kind of tired of seeing stuff on social media where it's kind of like things that are portrayed as oh, look what I caught on camera by accident, but it's obviously staged.
Oh yeah.
Like those things I'm kind of like, oh,
super clickbaity things.
Yeah.
yeah, then I'm just like, why? Like I still go on social media to look at like meal prep ideas and I don't know, housing like designer stuff and how to decorate your house and stuff like that. Like also look at those. But there's some of those just, like reels.
The cringy shit.
Yeah, the cringy reels.
It's
and
like,
oh my god,
I fucking
wow.
hate those. Where they're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you know, like they'll have some clickbaity thumbnail
Yeah.
and some clickbaity title, be like, oh, you know, first person to ever do, or like, you can't believe she didn't know about this,
Yeah.
and then it looks so staged. I'm like, oh my god, so annoying.
Sounds like our titles for our podcast.
I mean, relatively, yeah, but it's doing it as a troll. Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of that clickbaity shit. You guys have any other hot takes?
I have a random hot take.
Okay.
If you had friends getting married and you don't think they should get married, would you tell them?
Ooh.
Absolutely not.
Oh,
It's become the
really?
wedding podcast.
I think divorce lawyers need to make money too.
It depends how close you are with that friend, because if you're at the wedding already, or what do you mean, like they got engaged, or like at what stage of their relationship are you?
All right, okay. Let's start off with they're talking about getting proposed or
The
engaged.
guy's gonna
Sorry.
propose soon.
Yeah, the guy's gonna propose soon. Let's start there.
Mm,
And you don't
Really?
think they belong together.
Yeah.
it really depends on how close you are and the situation. So I actually know somebody who, they are married now. So they're not my close friends, but they're like people I know. When they were engaged, apparently both, or no, the guy's side, like all the guy's friends knew that he didn't really want to get married to her, and he already like cheated on her, I think twice when he was away on vacation.
Damn.
And the girl's side, I think the girl's friends knew that he cheated on her, but none of them said anything. None of them said anything to the guy to be like, yo, you should just fess up. The guy apparently didn't want to even get married to her, but the families were already so involved in the wedding because they're like family friends. They've been dating for like 10 years or something, like a long time. I don't remember what the girl said, but the guy basically like, well, I don't like want to marry her, but I'm already too deep in the situation and I have to go through with
So
it.
you have to go deeper.
Yeah, and then
What the
they
fuck?
this is like
If
months
he
ago.
goes deep enough, he might get out.
Yeah. Let's make this legal now so that I can somehow leave in the future.
Yeah, I don't know. And then they ended up getting
Stupid.
married this year. So but when I was talking to my friends about it, I'm like, dude, that divorce is gonna be ugly. And they're both rich too, I think. Or no, she's rich, I think.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
of course he want to marry that. Why wouldn't he marry that if she's rich?
Oh, but it just makes me feel so sad because nobody said anything to either of them. And they both knew that they didn't want to get married, but they did it for the family, which is not the right reason.
I'm already very anti-marriage. So like my take obviously is I don't give a fuck. If they should, I don't know. Like if it happened to my friend, I actually don't think I would say anything. Like okay, if the person got cheated on, that's a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
If the person shouldn't get married because like I don't see them being fit, or one person's treating the other one bad or something like that, a part of me want to be like, yeah, I wish they were in a better position, but a part of me is also like, sometimes you gotta fail to learn, and sometimes you gotta fail hard. I don't want them to resent me for like I'm the reason why they broke up because I was the one who told the person not to marry the other person. So part of me is like, no, I don't want to like get that deep into
What
it.
if you were right?
I don't care if I'm right. Like it doesn't. I feel like the fact that I'm right and if I do care I'm right, that's just ego.
Wait,
Right.
but what if 5 years from now your friend got divorced and then they're like, oh, I wish someone told me that this blah blah blah, and then they found out that you and your other friends had the same feelings.
So it doesn't matter. I mean,
You're the one that still said yes.
yeah, you're the
That's
one
true.
who got married, right? It's not like I put a fucking gun in your hand and be like, sign this document right now, right?
Fair.
But I also think, I think that it's up to like, I think sometimes people are in over their heads and they just got to make that mistake. If they're already that deep, I'd be like, fuck it, you guys just do you. I would be sad for my friend if it was like someone I was really close with, but I don't want to like get in the way of that because like, what if the opposite was true? What if it started out rocky but it gets better, right? So I was like, fuck, I don't want to interfere with this shit. So that would be my thought to that. Plus I don't know, like I feel like fucking this whole like what if they can make it? Like what if your friend who cheated on your other friend and they got married and shit? Like what if they can make something out of it? Well, I'm like fuck it, just let them be. I'm very like anti get into people's business.
That's fair.
That's fair, but what if you thought what if they were your best friend?
Uh-huh.
Would you get into their business then? Would you say something then?
Like unless there's like something very bad happening, like physical abuse or like some type of abuse going on, I wouldn't really speak up.
Really? Even if they were your best friend and you felt like
If they're not, well, like what would it be if it's not abuse? Just them being non-compatible. Like I
guess
said,
that's
the
true.
cheating thing is a separate thing. That I would say because I'm very anti that, right? Like
uh-huh.
I don't care about people fucking other people as long as they're honest and shit. Then it's fine. Like what if they're into polygamy and shit, right? Then who am I to judge, right? But at least I would tell them, and then they would get a chance to know. But if there's like abuse, like physical abuse, emotional abuse, or like
Yeah.
entrapment and all that shit, then it's like, okay, maybe I'll speak up on that part. But other than that, like fuck it, I'm not gonna get involved.
I
Like
was thinking-
even if they're non-compatible, even if she's doing it for like the money or something, I'm like, dude, it's your money. Like it's like I have no say over this. Like who am I to say that you can't spend your money on your way of getting a fucking marriage and a divorce, right?
Hmm.
So that's my take on that.
I was thinking about another couple that I know that I would say something for, but then when you said the example of, oh, if it's not abuse in some way, shape, or form, then I wouldn't say anything. And then, yeah, the reason why I would say something is because I felt like in her relationship, or not, I felt like in her relationship, there was abuse in it. And that's
Yeah.
why I would have said something.
I guess in that so like do you guys know for sure she doesn't know she got cheated on? Like I've heard of people who got cheated on but still like got married and shit with that person
Yeah.
and stuff. So I was like, well, it's
also
whoever
have-
suits
I
their
also
boat,
know
right?
that.
I don't really know. Considering like they've been together forever is what you said, so maybe they want to experiment outside of the relationship. I don't fucking know, right? But yeah, if
How about if your best friends were going to get married to each other
They're both my
Okay,
best
okay.
friends.
Or you just care about them both very deeply.
Okay.
One of them is your best friend. You just care about the couple very deeply.
I think
Okay.
Alvin
But
has
you
feelings
know-
like that.
Okay. Okay.
He
Here's the
doesn't care about
situation,
anybody.
guys. And you know one of them is cheating on the other one. Would you tell the one that's being cheated on is your best friend? Would you tell them?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think cheating is acceptable in any way. I mean, I would tell them, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not cheating. Maybe it was like a pact they had that they will allow them to sleep with someone else, right? At least the onus is now not on me to have said something. I'm like, hey, this is what I heard. You gotta figure this shit out yourself and get the like evidence and facts. But this is what I heard, and like I'm sorry, but this is up to you to like figure it out at this point, right? But I'm giving you what I heard, and then from then on it'll be like, I clean my hands, I'm done, kind of thing.
Done my due diligence.
Yeah. That's how I would do it. I don't know. But I'm different. I don't know. Maybe some
I
other
would say
people.
something for sure if it was people I care about. If it was my best friend that was cheating on their person, then I would probably say, okay, you got to tell them because I care about the other person enough to.
The other scenario I'm thinking now, though, is what if there's a reason for the marriage, as in like a green card? Then wouldn't you be like, whatever, man?
I don't give a shit.
There's a green
You're
card
not
being
even
sold
doing
here?
it out of love. Who cares?
Like, what if your best friend is selling their green card?
Go make that money, bitch. Whatever you want to do.
That's what I'm saying, right? I'm like, go ahead, brother.
Better charge them double.
Yeah. You better charge them enough. I don't know. I mean, hey, it's just a legal thing you have to go through, and at the end of it, you know, you might waste some time, but you make a lot of money from it.
Yeah, if you
Could-
want to do it, why
Could be
not?
worth it.
That's how you want to live your life. Sure thing.
Yeah. I mean, that was a pretty good hot take on that one. I like that one. That was a kind of controversial, kind of not really, but yeah. Okay, I have one that I just heard of on a comedian special. So the comedian was saying that one of the red flags he sees when he's looking for a girl is that if they have a guy best friend, like a guy that they're really close with,
Okay.
and his thoughts are always that guy just wants to fuck you. Like, there's no other reason for them to be like that close to you and shit like that. And like that person is someone that the person dating that person would always say like that's a red flag, right? Like if you see someone with a really really close guy best friend, then you're like, I don't know, like this is something you should try to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about that?
I don't believe in that. I
Oh.
think that's too black and white.
Okay.
Because I think guys and girls can be best friends and have no sexual tension in between them. Because I think that like, yeah, you can get really close to people of the opposite sex just because they're in the category or the gender that you sexually find attractive does not mean that you will fuck them or that you'll get with them just because they are of that same sexuality that you're interested in.
But would you like? Do you see it from a guy perspective as that may or may not be a
I
red
can
flag?
see why somebody would see that though, because it's kind of like, okay, if they're whatever gender that you find attractive, you guys get along really well to the point where you guys are best friends. Why
Yeah.
fucking not, right? Because isn't that the basic grounds into getting into a relationship?
Yeah.
Basically, you're literally just not taking that step. So I can definitely see it why, but I don't think that's for me personally, I wouldn't take that as something to not try with someone. Like if I was interested in a guy and he had a really close female best friend, I wouldn't take that as anything like as a like precursor, or that would not be a deterrent in any way.
I think it could be annoying. Unless that guy is gay, I think it could be kind of annoying. Because like every time you have an issue, she's talking to him about it. And then every time there's like a argument or a complaint or anything, she's probably talking to him about it. Like they're like best friends, right? And then unless he's gay, like unless he's openly gay, like I fucking saw him suck a dick or something like that. Or like I know for sure like this guy is like my gaydar is off the charts for this guy. Because you know some guys are closet gays, or not closet gays, are fake gays just to, you know, get in her pants. But yeah, that I think for me I would be wary. Like if I met someone with a really close guy best friend and he was also like single or something like that, I'd be like, I don't know about this one.
I think it definitely would have to also matter. Of course, like if I met somebody if I met Billy Joe over here, or not Billy, we know what Billy. Never mind, I can't use that name.
Joe.
If I know no, I know a Joe. If I know
Joan.
fuck, I don't know names.
Mike.
No, I know someone.
Raphael.
If I know a Raphael.
I don't know you didn't know a Raphael.
She's not cultured. She's meat smash.
If I was interested in Raphael and he had Penelope as his best friend, that wouldn't deter me in any way, but I would feel like I would want to know like their dynamic. Like if he basically treated her like a girlfriend, but they call each other best friends, then I would be like, what the fuck?
I mean,
what am I doing here?
Like, what's the limit of the best friend, right? Like, they're really close. They talk to each other about everything.
That's fine.
Oh, really? You don't care about that?
I think it's very valuable to have female and male perspectives in your life and like roles in your life and influences.
But
in
as
your
a
life.
best friend, BEST, the best friend.
I really.
Really? You wouldn't care?
I don't
Okay,
care.
Lynn, I want to hear what you say about this. Oh.
If I saw them interact and I saw things that I felt like stepped over the line, and if I saw things that stepped over the line of where I'm comfortable with, and I brought that up, and he was just like, but this is my best friend, and said all this shit and was like, oh, you don't understand, then I would be like, you know what, you're right, I don't fucking understand. You guys keep your friendship, I don't want any of this shit.
Yeah, so what happens if you do start a relationship with someone with a really best friend that's a female?
Okay.
And then you and him get into an argument or whatever, and then he's talking to her about all this stuff.
Okay.
Like, would you dislike that and shit?
Nope.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well,
Like,
good
that
on
would
you.
Be the same as him talking to a male friend that has more. Yeah, male friend.
Yeah, but she can suck his dick.
So can a guy friend.
I guess by that merit, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong there. But I don't know. I feel like, wouldn't that feel like something in the way of, not in the way, but like that argument and like her taking his side and like being his best friend and stuff? Wouldn't that kind of affect you some way? Or like, I feel like instantly you'll start, at least for me, I'll start thinking like, I don't know, man, like, is this guy actually like have her best interest in mind?
I feel like my gut instincts in these things is pretty accurate in a way. And if I felt uncomfortable with it, essentially, and I brought it up to him and he waved it off as nothing, or if he was like, but obviously if he gaslit me and some shit, I'd be like, okay, what the fuck? But if he waved off my concerns in any way, shape, or form, then obviously that would be an issue.
So for you, you don't think this is like a red flag though for you?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
I would just say
like not even a yellow flag, not even a.
No.
Damn.
For me, it's great that you have a female role in your life that you're close to, that influences you in a positive way. And obviously if I came around and she was always flirting with him, then I would be like, okay, this girl doesn't actually care about you and you guys aren't actually best friends. Then this is something that's more than that. Because if you, Raphael, found somebody that you felt like was a great person that you're interested in, that like you could build a future with, aka me, and then your best friend doesn't support that and doesn't want to get to know me and support everything that we have going on, then that means that something that whatever you guys have going on is probably more important to her, and then that's not something I would want to get involved in. That's not something I would want to get involved with, and that's not a truly platonic friendship by my definition. But if you guys were actually truly platonic, then like, and I came along, then I would want her to be just like one of your bros in a way that would be like, oh my god, come over, like I want to get to know you too, and like we want to all get to know each other. And
what if she's not a girl's girl?
If you're not a girl's girl, you're just a bitch in general. I don't want to get to know you anyway.
All right, Lynn, what's your take on this?
First of all, I'm not a girl's girl, but we're best friends. So how's that work?
You're like a girl's girl.
Two negative make a positive.
No, it's still somebody that still supports other girls still.
Oh, I see.
Like if you see another girl that comes into your friend group, you're not going to randomly be mean to her just because she's a female and she's your quote unquote competition.
Oh, that's true. No, I don't do that.
That's a girl who's not a girl's girl.
I see.
Or like if guys came along, she would randomly make her voice like significantly higher pitch and start making fun of you and be like, Noelle, what the fuck is wrong with your hair? You're not girly enough. Or like things like that. Like somebody that like doesn't support girls in some way.
I see.
Like, yeah.
My take on this is that quoting back to what you said, Jorge, about guys just want to fuck you if you're a girl. I think guys would just fuck anybody that's a girl.
Ooh,
so
maybe.
Just because the guy wants to fuck her doesn't mean she wants to fuck him, right?
True.
So I feel like all guys would fuck all their friends probably if given the chance, but doesn't mean they're gonna act on it. Doesn't mean she's gonna act on it, right? So I feel like that aspect of the friendship is invalid because I feel like every guy is just like that for the most part. Like not generalizing, but like
that's not the point. But the issue is that because they're so close together, like as soon as anything goes wrong with your relationship, she'll always go to him for guidance and shit.
Okay, but that's her. That's on her. That's not about the friend because she could just not tell that guy.
But then that's a red flag. Then would it not?
No, but she could not. Maybe she doesn't talk to that guy about it.
So yeah, but what I'm saying is that type of person would be like a red flag because they would be solely reliant.
I don't agree because maybe from personal experience, all my like good friends are all dudes. All my good friends are dudes.
Best friend.
My best friend is Viv, so she's a girl. But I have a lot of close friends, very close friends who are also guys. If we don't hang out, we usually play volleyball every day or we play games every day. But I'm usually like my inner circle of the first people I think of to either play volleyball or do this or do whatever. It's usually a dude. Okay, so my significant other has never had a problem with it. Like he's never mentioned it, and he's actually friends with all. They're all bros. Like they all hang out together and everything. But
that's different though. Were they bros before you guys got together?
No.
Oh, okay.
They're friends because I'm dating him, and they're all friends now.
I see.
But I feel like generally, as a girl, this is different because I'm a girl. I feel like it's okay to have
so your
best friend of the opposite gender because I have been that best friend.
So you're not fair.
Wait, what?
Because you're a girl, it's okay to have a best friend of the opposite gender.
So no, as a girl, I think that's because Jorge is a guy. He says it's not okay.
No, yeah, I'm saying that. This is a potential red flag.
I think it's not because sometimes it just so happens that the person that clicks with you the most is the opposite gender. Yeah. And that's nothing to do with the gender. That's just the person itself.
I agree.
So I have been that best friend or close friend, I guess, who was a girl, and the guy's girlfriend didn't like me. And actually, I've had this multiple times. Actually, it's 2 times I think. Where this particular person, his girlfriend literally was like, "You're not allowed to hang out with any girls one-on-one ever. You have to be in a group setting, or I have to be there." And then my friend literally like tried to break up with me. Was like, "Oh, by the way, like we can't hang out anymore one-on-one." And I was like, I like lost it. I was like, "Excuse me, you're telling me that your girlfriend trumps our like 5-year friendship just because I'm a female?" And you're just okay. So I was like, okay, does she say you're not allowed to hang out with your guy friends alone? He's like, no. And I was like, okay, then how's that fair? Because you're discriminating my friendship because I'm a female. And I was like so hurt that he even was doing like he didn't tell her no, I'm not doing that. He actually came up to me and was like, hey, like we can't hang out anymore. And I was like, excuse me, that's not gonna fucking happen. But
we're hanging out tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, and I was just lost it. I was like, I can't believe you're fucking doing this because you're like one of the most down to earth, strong, independent people I've ever known, and you're telling me your new girlfriend is telling you this, and you're okay with it, and you're not gonna say no because he's never been like that before. And I was just so upset. I was like, I can't fucking believe you're doing this. You're discriminating our friendship because I'm a female.
Maybe that pussy was just that good. Okay?
What do you say?
He's like, no, I'm sorry, but I can't. I have to put my relationship first and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, you're literally being manipulated right now. That's what I'm telling you.
You're validating the parts of your relationship and the rules that shouldn't be there. And
you're making her insecurities show.
Okay, so I still think it's a potential red flags. But this again, this was coming from a comedian, and I was like agreeing. I was like, "This is pretty funny. This is some good shit coming."
It depends on the person. It depends on your history, right? It depends on your insecurities and stuff too, right? Like, I'm sure a person who's been cheated on before, or he's been left like before, wouldn't be so open than the next person who has none of that experience, right? They might be a little bit more on guard than the next person who's never been cheated on.
Maybe it only works one way. Maybe it only works with the guy and then girl. The girl's best friend is a guy. It doesn't work the other way where the guy's best friend is a girl.
Guys are fucking insecure, man. Girls don't give a fuck. I would love it if my SO had like more than 5 friends. Any friends, girls, because he doesn't have any girlfriends.
Okay, yeah. I mean, this is kind of
He doesn't have any. He doesn't
kind
have.
of roasting him while he's not here.
Sorry, but he doesn't have any girlfriends. Actually, zero female friends. And I feel like I almost would like him to have some, so that he can have. So I can't be the only one telling him sometimes like you're being dumb or something like that. I see. Right? Because he has 0 female friends.
Has he had like previous SOs?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he learned then. I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. I just think it was a really funny hot take when I was watching that show, and I was like, man, that's kind of true. You know, like it's kind of true.
I feel like Seinfeld.
No,
I
it's not.
genuinely think that like either way, guys and girls can be best friends.
No. I know, but I'm just saying, like, would it be something you want to deal with when you're starting a new relationship?
Oh,
and then if it was up to me, I'd be like, maybe this is something. If I could pick, maybe this is something that I don't want to deal with.
But don't you think it's selfish to base your relationship off of that one thing that you haven't even gotten to that bridge yet, and you haven't dealt with it yet?
It's a red flag. It doesn't mean like it's completely a no go.
But what about?
It's not like a black flag.
Wait, so what if you backtrack? What if you backtrack and then ask yourself why you feel that way about your girlfriend having a guy best friend? Like, why is that a red flag?
I mean,
like
I kind of.
It's a pretty reasonable thing to see as a red flag. Like if you're going into a relationship and you know that Raphael and Penelope are like the bestest of friends, and I would be like, oh, this is something I just need to make sure I pay attention to.
It's just like, it's just one of the red flags. It's just like, hey, maybe this is something I don't want to deal with. This is just kind of like annoying and shit.
Yeah.
It's not something I would go to that fucking psychoanalysis deep on. But it's just like, if I had a choice between 2 girls and one of them didn't have that, I'm like, that'd be better. That would just be better for my life. This is just the red flag that's much more annoying.
Okay, what about the twist on this question where your girlfriend's best friend is a girl and you also hate her because she's either annoying or she's something?
That's not as bad, I think.
So, but how do you deal with that? Let's say you live together. She's always at your house. She's always fucking up your shit.
So I believe the people you're closest with are relatively similar to who you are.
I agree.
So then I wouldn't even like that girl anyways. If her best friend was like a total bitch. Now, if that best friend was only a total bitch only to me, like she doesn't like me for whatever reason, that would be kind of a red flag too. I'd be like, well, I can't do much about this. Like she's gonna influence you more than I can, so I can't do much.
Mm-hmm.
I think the people that you call your best friends says a lot about you. And if one of your best friends is a complete bitch or an ass or whatever, then I would believe that when you guys are alone together, your personalities kind of sync up. And if her personality or his personality is fucking, why does cunt seem like such a heavy swear word?
It's not.
I was just gonna say that, but if they seem like such a bad person and you call them your best friend, then I would assume that there's a side of you that is highlighted when you guys are together and is highlighted when with your friendship that I would be concerned about.
Yeah. I mean, and then the other thing to think of too is like if that guy, the girl's best friend, the guy, if it doesn't like feel right and shit, like, okay, why is he fucking single and like what is he ugly as fuck? Maybe okay, that's fine then. But if not, like what's wrong with this person to do this? Or is he just like too stuck on this girl for him to never actually go and date other people and shit, or like to expand his world? Then be like, if they're best friends and like there's something wrong, there's something questionable in this thing that I have to figure out through time, right? I don't know. That's how.
I agree with you that it's fair, but I feel like it's not. I wouldn't see it as something that's worth questioning. I wouldn't say the red flag. I just be like,
really?
Oh, that's cool. He has a girl best friend.
Yeah, I wouldn't say as a red flag. I would just be like, okay, that's something I just need to make sure is actually a best friend and not 2 people that haven't taken the one fucking step to get into a relationship.
But that's a flag, I guess. Maybe not red.
It's definitely a flag.
I'd be like,
sure.
oh, I don't know. Like
a red flag would be.
They've dated before. That's like their ex, and that's still their best friend.
Yeah, that would be a red flag. That would be for sure a red flag. I'd be like, all right, I'm not touching you. The 10 people.
What about if your girlfriend's roommate was a boy, straight? Is that weird?
Care. I wouldn't care.
No, not really. I guess that's kind of...
That's okay, but
I feel like in all these situations, I would have to read how you guys interact and like go off of my gut instinct. I mean, if I felt like something was slightly off, I'd be like, this is a weird situation
Again,
with the friendship and with living together.
this is coming from a comedy special. I was like, dude, this is pretty funny, and this is kind of relatable. Kind of not relatable to me, but I was like, I can see that. I can see his perspective on this. I was like, oh, that's not bad of one. But yeah, I don't know. Like roommates is, I don't know, kind of different. I feel like you can live with someone and never really talk to them, whereas a best friend is someone you communicate with a lot.
True.
And like they know you very deeply. All right, well, that was one of them I saw online recently. I don't know. Do you guys have another one? Another hot take?
Let me see.
I mean, okay, yeah, I don't know. I was just gonna say, like, I don't know, like, would you guys not be concerned if your boyfriend was hanging out with this girl all the time and they're best friends?
Honestly, no. Like if
Really?
I met her and I could feel that their connection or friendship with her and the vibes was truly platonic, I don't give a shit. You can hang out with whoever the fuck you want, because there's 100 million people in the world. Obviously, like way more than that. You're gonna interact with so many people on a day-to-day basis. It's more about how you carry yourself while you're
like, what if you feel like you're the third wheel?
then that would be a concern. Then I would bring it up to him, and if it doesn't change, like if they naturally just click in that way, I was like, they're just really good friends that just bounce ideas off each other. It's fucking like female version, like not female version, it's a guy and girl version of Bonnie and Clyde or whatever, but they're truly platonic. And if I felt like I was third wheeling and it wasn't intentional on their behalf, and I brought it up and they didn't change it, then I would find that a concern. Then I would be like, okay, well, obviously I'm not being respected here. But if I brought it up and they did change it, then great.
Has that happened to you guys before?
I think my answer is biased because I'm actually that girl friend that I've had people tell me that their girlfriend doesn't like me straight up just because I just hang out with their boyfriends. And obviously it's platonic every time, but I'm just like, I have to be really careful how I act with him when we're all, so like sometimes we'll be like a party or something, and then the girlfriend and my friend is there, and I either like don't talk to him that much, or I never touch him. I never ask, oh, can I share a drink? Like nothing. I have to just be like very like filter everything I say, because I don't want her to freak out and kind of analyze, 'cause I know she's watching me, right? Yeah, like it's kind of obviously shitty, but I get it from that perspective, and I'm smart enough to like not do anything almost like sus. Like I would never, I don't even talk to him for that long either. Like I don't hold a conversation.
That's so sad for your friendship.
It is sad, but I do it for him, not for her, so he doesn't get in trouble, right? But fun fact, my friend that in that situation, they just broke up like last week, so I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Damn.
I used to be like, yo, what's up?
How about you, Viv? Has that happened to you?
I've had this situation where I felt like an ex of mine was they crossed my boundaries between how they were interacting with somebody else, and they would call that person their best friend and all that stuff and have pet names and everything. And I mentioned that it made me uncomfortable and things, and I pointed out certain things that I noticed in their behavior that I felt like wasn't strictly platonic, and I just got gaslit.
So it would be kind of like if that happened again, it would kind of be like a flag for you, like, oh, I'm not too sure about this.
Yeah, of course. But at first I was like, oh, it's just good friends. And then after a while I was like, okay, this is actually crossing my boundaries between what I'm comfortable with. And I brought it up, and
those are the things you learn when you're dating, and then when you go back into the dating scene, you're like, okay, this is something I'm gonna like keep in mind. You know, this is a possible like thing I have to
But
raise.
I feel like that's kind of the same thing with a lot of things in life. Like you're gonna get burned and hurt by a lot of things, and if you keep letting everything that hurt you kind of prevent you from having if you let everything that hurt you shroud your vision and keep you more guarded on every single experience that you have after that, then eventually you're just gonna be jaded. You're gonna be way too jaded. And so I think a huge component of that is that you have to realize that this is an independent situation. Yes, it could happen again, and you are prepared with the knowledge and experience to prevent it or step away from it if you feel like it's happening again. But I feel like you shouldn't step into any new situation, whether it's a relationship or you get in car accidents a lot and so you're scared to drive in the winter, so you never drive in the winter, things like that. Like, I feel like you have to step into the new situation without hesitation in that sense.
But it's almost like if you had a choice of that and not happening, you would probably like pick the not happening, right? If you had a pool of guys to pick from, for example.
Oh yeah.
And one of them was like, okay, well fuck that. I'm gonna filter this shit out, right? Like I have options, I'm gonna filter this shit out.
Yeah.
I see. You guys have any other hot takes? Man, you guys are too PC on these hot takes, you know? You gotta be like a little bit more foot down on an opinion.
All right, let me see. I'm just going on Reddit to see some
goddamn
hot takes.
I thought we had some of this prepared or some shit. What's another common one? Cereal first or milk first?
Oh, cereal first.
Cereal first.
If you put anything else, I'm like, how much time do you plan on spending dunking your fucking cereal in with your spoon?
Yep, I agree. Any issues with chopsticks to eat popcorn?
No. Smart.
No.
Nice. I like that too. I actually like the rubber glove technique too.
Oh, you put on a glove?
And then your fingers just don't get oily.
I do the whatever meat snack and then like a wet wipe or something. So then I wipe every time. So it's clean.
No. I still think the glove or the chopsticks better.
Yeah, let's see.
We need some
thoughts on swearing when there's children in the vicinity?
Man, that's tough. Like, I don't want to, but shit slips.
Sometimes I have friends who are like really weird about it. Like we're like playing grass volleyball or something, and then I'm like, fuck this, and they're like, shh, whoa, there's kids around. I'm like, who the fuck cares? And that's me, but then I'm like, yeah, I'll just stop because I respect you.
I try to keep my language as PG as possible around children.
Why is that your responsibility to be that in a public space with your friends?
What is this public space?
Like in a park. Let's say you're in a park.
Children.
Let's say you're having a picnic in a park or playing volleyball in a park. It's public park, and then there's just having to be kids like in the next.
How close are these kids to me? Why are they this close to me?
They can hear what you're saying. So like, I was at a volleyball tournament. I was at a volleyball tournament, and then we all had little canopies, and then the canopy beside us had 2 kids in it, and I was like, our game was fucking hard. That's what I said, or something like that. And then they're like, whoa, shh, there's kids right there. And I was like, who the fuck cares?
Yeah,
He's at a public tournament with all adults.
I would not care. And an all ages event. If you're in a public space at a park, I'm doing my own shit. You're doing your own shit there. I don't care.
Yeah, I definitely want to do it at like a Chuck E. Cheese, but
yeah, not at a Chuck E. Cheese, not at like fucking daycare, not at an elementary school or a kid's birthday for some reason that I'm at.
But if it's like a public thing, like they're gonna get exposed to it anyway, so it's the onus is on the parents to figure out how they're gonna deal with that because they're gonna get exposed to it.
Suddenly, I'm a sailor, and I'm gonna see what happens when you guys get home.
Yeah, no, I don't care too much about that.
What about if there was a kid misbehaving? What would you do? You know how some people say, oh, it's not my kid, I'm not going to discipline them, or I can't do anything, I can't yell at them because it's not my kid.
Let me tell you the story that happened to me a few weeks ago. So we're at volleyball, indoor. We're peppering a volleyball. I don't know who the fuck's kid or little brother was running around like he owned the place. He literally comes up to us when we're peppering a volleyball and took the volleyball, and he like ran away with it. And I was like, what the fuck? And most women, I feel, are like, oh, like, it's so cute. Or so they're like, oh, like, where's her mom? But I was like pissed off. I was like,
no, I would also be like, what the fuck, control your kid.
So then he eventually took the ball. He threw it somewhere, and I went to grab it. And I was like, that was weird. And I went back to Pepper. And then closer to when the game started, I was holding it. Like, I was holding it in my arms. And this guy came up to me again and started trying to either punch it or grab it from me. And I was like, where's this kid's parent? I'm like pissed off now because I'm like, why are you coming up to me, a stranger, and like trying to take my volleyball, and it's not yours, obviously. And then I'm just looking around like, who's fucking parent? Where's their parents? And I was like, I literally had to remove myself from the situation, because I would have like went ham and yelled at this kid, obviously because it's not my kid. I had no right to yell at them, and the mom obviously is gonna yell back at me for doing that because as moms do. So to avoid being an asshole, and even though the kid's wrong, the adult's always the asshole, right? So I had to remove myself from the situation because I was like, whatever I say is not gonna be nice, so I'm just gonna leave because I don't want to be an asshole. So that's like, I really wanted to be like, go the fuck away, but obviously you can't say it to a kid because it's not your kid. But I was like really close. I was like, oh my god.
Really? I think I would have just made a scene. I would have just like said really loudly, "Where is your parents? You can't stand on the court right now," and then shame the parents and be like, "Fuck it, man. It's your problem for bringing your kid here. You're not gonna control him."
I would like. How old was this kid?
5 or 6 maybe.
I would still do it.
I would also talk to the kid because I know when I was 5 or 6, I could still listen to instructions and know where I'm supposed to be and know where I'm not supposed to be.
No, I know, but
like I feel like as an adult, when we look at other kids, we feel like they don't know a lot. But if you think back to yourself at that age, you know enough at 5 or 6 to understand what you're doing to an extent.
Some kids are fucking. They're like, you're not the boss of me.
No, like
okay, cool, but I could still talk to the kid and be like, "Get off my court. You're not supposed to be here. Go find your mom. You're not supposed to."
Oh no, I would make a scene. I would like be very passive aggressive, like be very loud and be like pretty much announcing to the world, like, "Hey, there's a child here that should not be here. Whoever's parents this is, or whoever's whoever's parent is responsible for the kid, please come and fix the situation."
I would always.
And then everyone would look over and be like, "Oh, what's going on? Who's this kid?"
Oh, your kid.
And then they'll see the embarrassed parent come over. Oh, sorry. Like, yeah, well, then that's the situation now. I'm like, hey, it's your own fault. If you bring a kid to an event, you control your kid, and if you don't, then someone's gonna make a scene, and it's justified. That's how I feel, at least. Cause like I don't know, like I don't have any sympathy for that shit. I'm like, man, kids have it. Kids just have to learn, you know. And this situation will teach both the kid and the parent now.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you're sometimes at Chinese restaurants when you're eating, they let their kids run around, and then sometimes the kids will like knock into your chair. Yeah, I'll turn around and look at the kid and be like, "Don't touch my chair." And if I know where their parents are, I'll go up to the parents and say, "Hey, can you control your kids?"
And then they're usually super embarrassed after that.
Yeah.
That's not true. Remember when we were years ago when we were at the ledge?
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if you were there actually.
No, I wasn't there.
Our friend had a drone.
Yeah.
And we were flying the drone around the ledge, and then this kid came up and tried to swat the drone out of the air. Like he was trying to grab it, and its blades spinning. Like it's dangerous, right?
Yeah. So
we tried to tell him nicely, like, "Oh, like don't touch that because it's dangerous." And then he still wouldn't listen, and he still we tried to land it, and we tried to get him away, but he ran up to it and grabbed it, and it cut his finger or his hand or something. And we were like, oh shit. And then his parent comes and tries to yell at us for like blame us for hurting his kid. And then our one friend was like, is your fucking kid? Why was he not with you? Why are you not watching him? Why you let him grab other people's stuff? He just went ham. He went off. And the dad started
triggered so hard.
Yeah, and then the dad started yelling, like literally yelling at us, and we're all just like yelling at him back, like, "What the fuck? Like, your kid touching our shit. We should ask you to pay
call the cops."
Yeah, and then they're like, call the cops. Call the cops and fucking ask them whose fault this is, and they like.
And then there was a couple sitting behind us, and they're like, "Yeah, your kid wasn't behaving. Literally, all the other kids was around this drone. No one else went to touch the drone while I was landing, and your kid's the one kid that ran under Billy's hands and went to touch the drone. It's your kid that's not listening." The parents just kind of walked away with their tails between their legs. I don't really have sympathy.
Okay, I also don't have empathy because I don't have kids myself, but I don't have sympathy for that shit too. I'm like, fucking man, you chose to fucking birth this thing. You have to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
Is my thoughts on it, at least.
I agree.
Yeah, I think I also just don't I personally don't know how to talk to kids that well. So like your response is a very mature, I feel, response. But I would have yelled at them as if they were an adult, and that's not okay. That's why I removed myself.
Helping them develop.
I would have been an asshole. I would have been the asshole for being rude to this kid. Right?
I just defer. I defer to the parents. That's usually what I do. But I usually don't like to interact with kids too much.
I remember during the situation at the ledge, the kid looked like he was about like 10, 13-ish.
And I remember, really? I don't
Yeah,
remember
he was
that.
kind of taller. And then I remember while said person was yelling at the parents, I looked at the kid because the kid wasn't saying anything, was letting his parents kind of fight his battles for
Yeah.
him, and was kind of acting like he's innocent and everything. I looked at him and I was like, "You're old enough to know what you did. Why are you letting your parents get embarrassed for you?" I remember he just looked at me, didn't say anything, just avoided my eye contact. And I was like, "You're a bitch."
It's his life. It's his life. Birthing these things. It's tough.
Depends on the thing, I guess. I remember a few years ago, a kid like broke. I like those those grass badminton nets you just set up and you put spikes in the ground. I remember a kid like ran through it and then broke it, but I was like too embarrassed to say anything to the parents, and I regret it. I was like, "Fuck! I should have told them to pay me back." 'Cause
They
literally
broke
stepped
your
on it.
thing?
Yeah, they like knocked it over and stepped on it or something on purpose, or they were like pulling at it or something, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" But yeah, kids are cringe. Good kids.
Yeah, I don't know how people deal with them. The patience you must have is just
Weird.
what
I do love kids though, in
Gross.
a legal way.
No,
Like,
no
kids are
thanks.
so
You're a
cute.
fucking pedophile.
So cute.
I know you're a pedophile.
Like if they're
now.
under 3,
And then after that, you're like, no thanks.
like when they're like, I feel like kids have an annoying stage, and if they're at their annoying stage, then yeah, don't. But when they're like babies and when they want to play with
When they
you
can't
and they're so
speak.
innocent, or like they can still speak. Like I have a lot of cousins that can speak, and they're all really really fucking cute. Or nieces and nephews, and they're all really cute. But then if they're at some annoying bratty face, then get the fuck out of here.
True. What's another hot take? Pineapple? You like pineapple on your pizza?
Love.
Love
It's
it too.
alright. I love pineapple, but I prefer not to have it on.
Really? You don't like Hawaiian pizza?
Eh.
That's fucking best part of sweet and salty, you know?
The best pizza is either Triple Crown.
Explain this triple crown pizza, please. What's on it?
There's bell peppers, mushrooms, and sausage meat, I believe.
I don't
Also
think that's the
royal.
best.
Like classic.
Oh, that's a classic.
I think it depends where you go. Like, I think it's called deluxe,
Or deluxe at some
and then
places, yeah.
at BP's, I think it's the
There's
royal.
Yeah, I think there's
I mean, you ever had a really good margarita pizza?
Oh, margarita pizzas, if you can make it really good, yeah.
Yeah. So wouldn't that be better than? You're just talking about the best here.
In high school, I used to be okay, in high school, so one thing that I used to do like almost regularly as like a little tradition would be I would go to Superstore, and I would do this with some other person. I would go to Superstore and we'd go to the freezer aisle, and they had this hamburger pizza, or I think it was called a cheeseburger pizza. It's like Delicio or some shit like that.
Okay.
Cheeseburger pizza, and then you go into the snack aisle and you would go get, they were called caramel cookie chips. They're basically cookies, but they're really freaking thin, that they're like crispy like chips are,
Mhm.
but they taste like cookies. And then you also get a tub of vanilla bean ice cream. I forgot what brand we would get. And you cook their pizza, you crumble up those cookie chips and put them on top of your ice cream, and then you eat all that together, and you go to Remedy and you get a mango lassi, and that combination, if you want to have a really indulgent fucking junk food day, is so fucking good.
I don't know if I would consider that
So,
the
so,
best.
so good.
Okay, like what would
But
you rank
now-
the best?
Now I would probably change it, but back in high school, that was my like ultimate like junk food thing. And then you will get bubble tea too. Oh, perfect.
But the question is the best pizza.
The best pizza I've ever had is in Richmond. It's called Steveson Pizza. It's like this locally owned pizza restaurant, and it's kind of expensive. It's like $30 for maybe 8 slices, but it's really, the crust is kind of thick, and then they pile the toppings on there. So this one is called the Green Goddess Pizza. So it's like chicken breast, ham, mushrooms, arugula, another, I think, salad, kind of like a salady vegetable, and then there's like the Green Goddess dressing on top. And then, oh fuck, that's just so good. And they're known
Oh, that
for
sounds
their
really good.
they're known for like their bougie pizza. So they have one with like lobster tails on each slice. There's gold flakes on it, caviar.
But
That's just like $800 for a single pizza. It's kind of funny.
Caviar roll. I feel like I haven't ventured that far out to have like really good fucking pizza that really stands out to me, because everything I'm thinking about right now is pretty fucking basic.
No, I'm like I personally think a really fucking good margarita is like the best.
Like,
Simple.
yeah, I think margarita pizzas can
Like,
be good if you make it really well.
Yeah.
Something that I remember thinking was really good the first time I tried it, and the next couple times I tried it was from Famoso's, if you go to Famoso's, they have a pizza that has shrimp and pesto on it.
Mhm.
And I thought that was really fucking good. But nothing that nothing that really insanely stands out that's really unique, like having caviar on pizza.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would count that as one of my
I think
best.
that's just like bougie for absolute.
Yeah. But I think just like the fact that like the tomato's perfect, the fucking crust is perfect, all that shit is like, oh, that makes.
Have you tried slicing a Roma tomato and then you season it with salt, pepper, like freshly ground black pepper? It makes a fucking difference, guys. And then garlic powder and cayenne pepper and then chipotle pepper. It tastes so good.
And you
It's
just
like
eat
one
it?
of my
You're not
favorite
like
snacks
grilling it
there.
or anything?
No, you just eat it raw
Like a
like that.
slice of tomato.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has all those spices on it.
I do
Tastes
that
so
with-
good, and you put dill on it if you want.
I do that
good.
with but I put that on toast, like tomato toast with a little bit of like ricotta cheese or something. That's just
Oh,
good.
that sounds so good.
True. Okay. Fair enough. I guess it's different. I mean, best pizzas, best of anything is kind of hard to fucking say. Because, like, depends on the situation and the type and all that shit.
That's true.
What else is there? Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No, a hot dog is a hot dog.
I think it's a sandwich. Hot dog is like a po' boy. Is a po' boy a sandwich?
That is true, but a hot dog in itself is a hot dog.
No, a
Its own
hot
category.
dog. Like the bun and the hot dog in the bun. And that's one
Okay, I
unit.
can see why. If you had to define it as something, if you had to go back into its fucking family and all that shit,
Yeah.
yes, I would say it's a sandwich.
All right. There you
But
go.
if you're like, this is a sandwich, like if you're like, hey, Viv, you want a sandwich for lunch? And I'm like, yeah, thanks for making me a sandwich. You bring me a hot dog?
Yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm like, hey,
Go back in the
You
kitchen.
said you want a fucking sandwich? Here's a fucking sandwich. Here's a hot dog. What else is there? What else is there, guys, before we wrap this up? What the hot
cannot
takes do you
think
guys
of a
have?
hot take that is not political because Lynn, before we started the podcast, said to not say anything political.
Why? What's your
Did I?
political hot take?
Or she said it's too political. Sorry.
What was the thing?
Yeah,
All
now I'm
right.
curious.
Abortion or no abortion. This was my favorite thing to bring up in junior
Oh.
high. Whenever anyone wanted to have some sort of discussion, because it would always get people heated.
I feel like the three of us are pretty well educated individuals.
Wait, you mean like should you allow it or should you not allow it?
Yeah,
I mean, it's convoluted, isn't it?
is it? Why is it convoluted?
It's like you allow it, but the question isn't. Okay. I think you allow it, but the question isn't allow it or not allow it. It's at what stage is it considered murder and what stage is it considered abortion.
Okay. And what's your opinion on that?
I don't know. I think there is a stage. I just don't know when. Like I'm not gonna abort like an 8-month.
what if it's gonna kill you? It's gonna kill you.
Okay,
What do you-
I have so many situations
then
for
yes.
this.
Yeah. So that's a scenario. Yeah.
Okay, if you knew it's gonna kill you, you would abort it.
Yeah. Well, that's standard medical
what if
practice.
you found out a little? What if you found out just at the cusp of when it was, controversially considered a life or not,
Mm.
but you had this baby from getting raped?
Mm.
Abort or not abort?
Yes, that's your choice.
You would abort.
Yes.
Probably.
You would abort. What if you really wanted a kid, and this was the only kid you were ever gonna get?
Tough titties.
But you were raped.
Yeah.
That's tough titties.
I feel like
No, but isn't that still up to? That would still the answer would still be abort, but it's up to her if she wants to abort.
Okay. True.
yeah, rape. I think.
But
rape-
like, okay, if she got raped and she waited till the 8th month
Yeah,
to go
that's-
abort for her, that's her fucking fault too,
That's true.
right? So whatever that timeline is, I actually don't know what that solid timeline is. But regardless if you got raped or not, like it's okay. If you're raped and you're also like captured in a dungeon, good luck. There's nothing you can really do about that.
Yeah.
There's no fucking abortion at that point, right? But if you got raped and you're free to like still walk around in the city life, like someone roofied you that one night or something like that, the onus is now on you to decide to do it or not in a timely fashion.
Hmm.
Right? If you fucking want to drag your feet on this, well, that's maybe one thing you shouldn't wait for the last minute to finish the homework on, you know?
That's true.
So, I mean, I still say, like, there is a time, and whether you get raped or not, you have to, like, figure out within that time frame, right?
Okay. What if you were in a relationship? Okay, let's say your relationship right now.
Uh-huh.
Let's say you got your partner pregnant and she doesn't want it, but you want it. That's the first step to this question. Well, how would you navigate that conversation?
If she can abort before the timeline, then it's fine. If she can't abort before that
and
timeline,
this is the only kid that she wants, or this is the only kid that she can have, health-wise.
this is my wife.
Yeah, or this is your partner right now in your situation right now.
This is the only kid she can have in her life, and she doesn't want it.
Yeah. Okay, let's say like you want it and she doesn't want it.
Okay, and you're saying this is the only kid she'll ever have.
Yeah, she can never have.
Oh, then she should clearly. We clearly shouldn't be together.
Okay, what if it's the opposite way around? She
Okay.
wants it and you don't want it, and this is the only kid that she can have.
Okay, I truly believe if before the time frame of whatever thing, the guy doesn't want it and the girl wants it. Actually, if the girl wants it, then she can have it. Actually, there's no thing. I was gonna say like if she really wants it and the guy doesn't want it, then she should have to pay. Like as in he shouldn't have to pay.
Okay.
But actually, to be honest, it doesn't matter. I would say if she wants it, then she can have it.
Okay, if she wanted it, if she got pregnant right now and she wanted it and you didn't want it, and she still wanted you to pay child support for
then
it
I'd have to pay child support because that was my fault for not putting on the condom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you can put on the condom and it still goes through.
And that's tough titties. That's like some days I could win the lottery and some days I can't, right? That's just life.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
What if this baby, you knew before it was born that when it's born, it's going to have some sort of defective genome or some sort of disease that's gonna...
Did I know before the date?
Yes.
Okay, then I would say I would recommend to her and the doctors that it should be aborted because of this defects. And if she chooses not to, then I'll be like, you're taking care of it. I'll pay you whatever, but you're taking care of it. I ain't taking care of any of the shit.
Okay. How would you navigate that in your relationship?
I mean, it wouldn't be a relationship after that.
Okay.
Like, it's just like, I feel like we'd have to be on the same page on this stuff before we can even advance to the stage.
I feel like I genuinely feel like you have to have these conversations before you like get that involved with someone.
Yeah. If you're going to choose to take 0 birth control.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys did choose to take birth control and you guys didn't want a kid, then the obvious answer is abort, right?
Yes.
But if you guys choose to take birth control and you want a kid, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then if you choose not to take a birth control, then you guys are taking the risk, right? So the relationship just has to figure that risk out. That's all. Right? Like, to be honest, if I'm married right now, if I'm currently married at this moment, at this age, I would tell her, like, it's up to you if you want to take birth control or not. And then if we have a kid, we have a kid.
Okay.
Right? That would be my thing. And then if she said, I don't want one, then we're like, then you have to take birth control. Right?
Yeah.
And then if I say I don't want one, well, I mean, that's we're not on the same page. We're not on the fucking same page, right?
Yeah.
Then we wouldn't even be in this, like, we wouldn't be up to this stage right now. Like, I feel like the time I actually even get married, if I do get married, I'd be already prepared to potentially have a family.
That's true. I feel like that's something you need to talk about before.
I feel like the defect thing is very hard on a lot of people to decide. Like, what do you think, Viv, as a woman who would carry a baby? Would you, let's say
she'd fucking abort that shit so fast? Like,
yeah,
no
honestly,
joke.
I feel like a kid is a huge responsibility. Why would I say yes? Okay, if you could say yes to first of all, my opinion towards having kids is that I think that I would be a great mom. It would be nice to have kids one day, but I also don't care if I never have kids. So I'm kind of indifferent to it. If I found out I was infertile, I wouldn't give a shit. I'd be like, oh well, you made the decision for me. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna go as far as like adopting a kid or anything. That I don't care that much about having kids.
Her abort button is not locked up.
Yeah, it's not locked up at any point, like at all. But I do think I would be a good mom, and I do think that it would be cute to have kids one day. But honestly, like it's not like a goal of mine or anything. Okay, if I was married, had all that stuff, and then I found out that I got pregnant and the kid had some sort of disease or a mutated gene or something that would cause it to suffer, and I could decide whether, before it was quote unquote considered a life or not, if I could decide whether to bring it to term or not, I would not. Like, why would I bring something to term if you had Down syndrome, why would I bring this life into the world.
You're gonna suffer, and then
I'm
they're
gonna suffer, and I never signed up for this shit, quite honestly.
and
If I
they're
had
gonna
a
suffer.
kid, I would want, obviously, to have a kid to be as healthy as possible. I would obviously love it regardless, but if I could control whether to bring a life that was quote unquote normal or not, then I would bring one that's normal over one that's not, because then I know the one that's not is going to affect my life a lot. And maybe that's selfishness, but I wouldn't want to say yes to something when I know that there's so many more troubles and work involved when it doesn't need to be.
Yeah, I truly believe in advancing the gene pool, not bringing it back.
Yeah, like I don't care about having a kid or like saving a life if you consider it life at that point enough to be like, oh my god, but I got pregnant, so I have to keep this kid that has this disease and this disease. Like, no, I'm gonna be the first person in line at the abortion clinic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like a lot of the abortion concern is like, when is it considered the life is the question.
Yeah.
Right. That's usually the question. But I feel like that's, I have no idea. I don't know the science behind that.
It's
But
second trimester.
whatever that date is whatever that date is. It's just, I don't know. That's just how it is.
So that you saying Down syndrome reminds me of this article that I read where scientists are trying to eradicate the Down syndrome, like the mutation that makes Down syndrome.
Okay.
This was an extra chromosome, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I saw something that scientists.
Double it and give it to the next person.
Okay, so like scientists are trying to eradicate the Down syndrome mutation, but then a bunch of people who are affected by, oh, maybe no, it wasn't Down syndrome. It might have been like what's that one where you're
Autism?
No, little people. What is that?
Dwarfism?
Dwarfism. I think they were one of the two. They were trying to eradicate that mutation in the human gene, and then a society of little people, they came up and they were like, we are not a disease, we're not something to be eradicated, we're proud of being who we are, blah blah blah, etc etc. Do you think it's wrong to edit this disease? It is a disease and mutation, right? Is it wrong to edit that out of our evolution? Because
No, sir.
My personal
It'll
opinion
happen
is
anyways.
that it is not wrong, because I personally care more about science in that way than like human life as a whole. And I think that it's great that if you were born with dwarfism, that you can find a way to be empowered and still live life without any hindrance and be all that you can be with dwarfism. But that's not quote unquote normal.
yeah.
It still is a gene defect. And so if someone can eradicate it, then I
Let's
think
do
they
it.
should.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
And they shouldn't take it away. It's not, I think that the people who are fighting against it, like the people who have dwarfism and are trying to protect that, it's not the same as saying like, oh, I'm going to get rid of all the Chinese people in the world. I'm going to get rid of the Chinese gene or whatever makes you Chinese or whatever. That would be a completely different.
so fucked up.
That would be a completely different conversation.
That's
But I
the A
think
plus gene.
dwarfism, yes,
That'd
it
be
is
so
a
funny.
defect, and yes, if you can eradicate it, eradicate it. It's great that you can empower yourself if you have dwarfism, but no, you should not be born like that.
I am a
technically.
woman of science, and I do think we need to evolve past all of our fucking
Yeah.
mutations and shit, because they're
That's not true. Some
Really?
mutations are good.
like such
think-
as
Like if you're mutated that you're smarter, that's a mutation still.
I personally don't think that like autism is that bad.
oh no, that's true. They were like smarter than average
Yeah,
people
I
because they
think
think
s-
differently.
yeah.
right?
autism
so
is actually,
it's
like,
not that
geniuses.
mutation. I just think like the dwarfism is like good for them. I think they can procreate all they want, but whether they like it or not, it's getting eradicated.
Yeah.
Even if the science doesn't do it, the life will. Like the world will. So
Yeah.
pretty much
Yeah.
there's gonna be less people procreating with little people, and there's gonna be less little people created, and then they'll soon be naturally eradicated.
Sometimes it's hard though because it can be a random mutation in the
natural
genes.
selection.
Natural selection, and it's just random. Sometimes you can't help it.
Yeah.
It's not genetically linked, right?
Then you're not gonna
Well, then,
procreate
yeah,
with it.
You're still not normal. You still.
Yeah.
But it's still gonna exist, even if.
But-
But if you can eradicate it, then why fucking not?
No,
I
but
agree.
like
no, I agree.
even if it still exists, the probability of existing will become lower and lower.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And if the probability of it happening to you is like 0.01%, then it's like, okay, well, that's a risk you have to take, but it's not a concern. I'd eradicate the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
Certain things I think is a no-brainer. Other things
Yeah.
is questionable.
What would you say is questionable and not a no?
So, for example, if they eradicate the dwarfism gene, but that gene also affects other shit because they haven't tested it well enough, then it's like, hold up, right?
Okay, so you get rid
Like
of the
I don't want to get rid of dwarfism, but only have 8 toes. Okay, like that's,
But why do you need 10 toes?
bruh. Just let me have
Okay, so-
just let me have all 10 of my toes.
So if you had dwarfism, but you could become normal,
Like
but
getting
you had
rid of
8
2
toes,
toes?
you wouldn't take it.
I would take it. I'd
What?
be like, bro,
Why do you
my days are
need? Why do you
getting.
need your pinky toe?
No. So
You could wear shoes.
even though you have
the
the genes, it doesn't mean it's gonna happen,
Toes for
right?
balance.
So if they eradicate it, that means they're also doing it to people who may not even get dwarfism. So it'd be like, hey, there's a chance you may get dwarfism.
But not anymore.
What's the chance?
No.
What's the
So
chance?
like, it's like there's a chance, some genetic chance you may get it. But for sure, if we get rid of this genes, you will only have 8 toes. And I'll be like, what the fuck are you guys doing? There's better science, guys. You guys don't have to
Okay,
do
yeah.
this. There's much better science than this shit.
Like, I think, of course, at that state, you have to weigh out the chances of both.
But-
like, okay, if we get the chances of getting dwarfism is 1 in a million.
Yeah.
But if we get rid of dwarfism, then the chances of you getting 8 toes is 1 in 1,000. Then fucking keep the dwarfism.
Yeah, but like the reason why they're not doing this publicly, they're not CRISPRing publicly, is because they don't have everything like figured out, right? So like, I think in China they got rid of one of the HIV, the genes that could have AIDS and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But it's like they don't know if that person like 20 years from now will all of a sudden get like some other random disease, right?
Mutated,
So it's like unless they figure that shit out, and that means they have a lot of science to do, then they'll start getting rid of shit. But they're not gonna get rid of shit unless they're like 100% sure, almost, right?
Yeah.
Did they say that about COVID too? Something like getting COVID.
No,
fuck
COVID's
you
a
up.
conspiracy. We all know that already.
Yeah,
Sorry.
They made it in Wu-Tang Clan.
The rappers made it. They fucking hate Chinese.
If you had access to CRISPR, would you genome edit your future child?
What are the odds of success?
Let's say, let's start with 100%.
Yes.
Yes, I would too. Some people say, I don't want to play God. I don't want to do that.
I'm not playing God. I'm playing Mr. Genome, CRISPR guy.
I would 100% do it. I would 100% do it too.
Yeah, I mean that's such a weird thing they say that. Okay, so this is my perspective on that. When someone says you're playing God, in my mind,
Well,
I'm
if
like,
I can, why not?
but like in my mind, I'm thinking like when you play God, you're like you can change the fate, not just from like birth and stuff, but fate completely. And I feel like you can't still. Like this person could still have the perfect genetics, get in a car accident, and still die. So it's like that's not playing God anymore, right? You know what I mean?
Imagine.
Like he has the perfect genes, and then he still dies from like a fucking car accident. Then
Or no, imagine you like spend all this money, you get the access to CRISPR technology,
Yeah.
you give your son, let's stick with son. You give your son the best genetics. They fucking have black genetics and an Asian body.
no, black body, Asian,
Okay, sure,
Asian
black-
brain.
Black body, if you want Asian brain, they come out a doctor or some shit like that.
Yeah.
They're the best volleyball player, best climber, best whatever,
Yeah.
everything you want it to be, but they're a fucking bitch and they're like, I hate you, dad.
No, I was gonna say, could you imagine they did all that and then you dropped your baby? Like, oh fuck. Like you just bring it home and also you dropped it. You're like, oh fuck. And then he goes back to test and be like, yeah, I'm sorry, but everything we've done for you is now negated.
I'm sorry, you now has Down syndrome.
Yeah, it's your own damn fault. You paid for all this and you fucked up. I'd be like, damn, that'd be the hilarious show. What a
Damn,
comedy.
suddenly I think we ran out of milk at home.
That'd be so fun. Here's all the CRISPR in the world in the hospital holding and you slept. That'd be the best. I'm like, dude, that's the shit. It's like if it wasn't filmed, the people wouldn't believe it. No fucking way.
This one's not my baby, I swear.
Yeah. Yeah, but all in all, I think I don't know. I'm personally cool with that shit as long as they can figure out all the outcomes. I mean, I think it's the same with everything. It's like drugs and like vaccines and shit. If you figure out all the true consequences, then I'm all for it. But if you don't, then it's like, hey, you have more work to do before you can make money, kind of thing.
That's
like that,
true,
right?
that's
Like
true.
you have to do your part before you can take money.
How do you feel about them legalizing certain drugs? So I feel like the next drugs that are gonna be legalized would be shrooms or ketamine.
Oh, like psychedelics or like non. I think that's great. I think I actually think they should do. I think people should get access to it, and I think there should be a whole field of uh health service providers where they actually like walk you through the process and they like figure out what's actually good for you. Like some stuff could actually be detrimental for you. So like if you're very prone to like schizophrenia and you take that shit, you're gonna go off the rails.
Right.
So I feel like not only should they legalize it, but they should actually like create a whole industry where they can actually figure out what's the best for you. Not just what you should take, but like, hey, this like we think based on your physical body and your brain and shit, like this thing would like help you the most, right? I truly think that's like should be the next step. Like even with weed, I think they should have done it, but obviously it would have been slower, right?
Yeah.
If they had to set that all up, because I think some people don't react to weed well, and like that's perfectly fine. It's like it's literally like alcohol. Some people don't react to that well too, right? So I don't know. I think that's I'm all for that shit. Like I personally want that experience. I want to be able to sit down with like professionals and be like, okay, we think ecstasy is the best thing for you. Like it's gonna help you out. Or
It's a Monday, sir.
yeah. Or we'd be like, okay, we
came in
think.
for a rectal exam. What do you mean?
And they're gonna be like, it's gonna ease the pain. It's gonna be perfectly fine. You're not
Is
gonna
this a
feel
real
thing.
doctor's office? Johnny Sins, is that you?
Oh no, I'm stuck all of a sudden on this chair.
Step bro, no.
But yeah, like I'd be so down. Like I've always wanted to do like or try those things, but I've always been afraid of because like if you don't test it, there could be shit in it, right? So I feel like if you put it in that clinical setting where it's like quality controlled and shit, I'm like, okay, not only am I getting expert advice, I'm actually getting the real thing. Like I'm not getting some fentanyl laced bullshit, right?
That's true.
So I feel like that's like the next step that they should do. But I don't know, like maybe drug companies are. I think the reason why they can't do some of that is because they can't make money off of it. You can't patent a mushroom because it's a naturally growing thing.
Isn't that the same weed though?
Yeah. Can they actually? I don't know. Can they patent strains of weed? I actually do not know, but I don't think they can. So like, there's a reason why. Was it fuck? I did not have full fucking studies on this. I did my whole master's on this. Yeah. So certain macrophages, I forgot what they're called, specifically can kill viruses. The reason why it's not popular in the drug and medicine community is because they are naturally occurring, so they cannot patent those. So that's why they rather use vaccines and antibiotics. Or okay, sorry, certain natural occurring macrophages that can kill bacterias like tuberculosis and stuff, cannot be patented because it's naturally occurring.
How do you think they legalized weed then?
What do you mean they just did it? They just be like case study alcohol. Okay, something similar. What's the benefit to it? What's the economical benefit to it? What's the like they probably did a fuck ton of case studies where they like set it up so they can make their case. Like the political folks can make their case of legalizing it or not doing that, right? And then after all those case studies that they paid for, then they'll be like, okay, yeah, it's good, it's safe, and then they try to pass the bill.
Would you need to legalize psychedelics and ketamine then?
I think so.
Can't you just run it under the same studies or like similar studies?
You
without
could,
adding it?
but I don't know if anyone's done those studies yet. But yeah, I think you probably could, especially in Canada. I'm not sure about the States. I feel like in the States, the drug and insurance company has more of a hold on, like they have more
Pharma.
lobbying and they have more control.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like in Canada, I feel like you could probably do it. Actually, even now, like in Vancouver, it's not even they don't it's decriminalized. Most drugs are decriminalized in Vancouver, right?
Up to a certain amount.
Yeah.
It's like
The fuck,
point.
really?
Yeah. They have like test centers. You can go there, test your drugs, and you can take it there too, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you
Oh fuck.
it's I think it's just possession is decriminalized. So up to like 0.8
Yeah.
or
You walk in with
0.08
0.9.
milligrams. Yeah.
But no, take 0.1 out to test, and, and then I'll take the rest. But yeah, like I mean, like I said, like they're already doing that. The only next step is to have like a private or public funded clinic where they actually take you through the steps and like show you the benefits and shit. Like people with PTSD will benefit a lot from it, and like certain trauma, they'll benefit a lot from it. For me, I just want to do it because of like curiosity, and they'll probably give me certain things, and they won't give me certain things if that's the only reason why I want to do it, right?
Yeah.
And they would probably know better. I wouldn't say know best, but they would know better because they've at least know the science behind it.
I think the one benefit for sure would be that it's a controlled dose and you're in a controlled environment, and everything that's happening with your body medically and everything is in a really safe area. But I feel like the one caveat that they can't reproduce is that usually I feel like when you do these things recreationally,
Mm-hmm.
if you're there for recreational purposes and not to like solve trauma or schizophrenia or anything like that, then you wouldn't want to do it in such a government run controlled public place.
So if you're hallucinating, do you not want it to be a controlled environment?
I think you would, but you would want it to be a familiar environment. I think that's a
Mm.
huge key piece.
You can bring your teddy bear or something.
Solve the answer.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, but I still think that's the way to go. I think
I think it would be cool to have that as
Yeah.
something you can access.
like to me that's like the biggest deterrent for me. Is like I don't want to do certain drugs is because like you could say it's clean, you could say all this shit, but until it's tested, there could be something in it.
True.
And like maybe I'm too intense into it, but unless you test it properly too. Because like what if it's like
Not properly
laced on one side and not laced on the other side, kind of thing like that, right?
That's true.
So that, and then you could say all you want. No, my dealer's clean and all that stuff. I still won't trust that shit because it's like it just has to happen once.
yeah.
It just has to happen once and you're dead, right?
Mhm.
So for me, like maybe I'm too stingy, but like that's not a risk I'm willing to take for the most part. So I was like, maybe I will stay away until they make it where I can go to clinic. And, like I'll pay money. I'll pay like a pretty large sum of money to be able to try that stuff. Just for that, like I don't know that guarantee.
That's true.
I mean, I think it's a whole industry. I think a lot of people would.
I think a lot of people would too.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna happen sometime.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I actually think that's like the deterrent I have is very common to other people. Like they have the exact same deterrent as that they don't want that one situation happening.
Oh yeah, I'm so sure.
So I mean, hey, that's one way to access it to everyone else. All right, we're about done with our hot takes. What is this? We're almost at 2 hours, guys. Any other last ones before we leave?
Fries of McDonald's ice cream, yes or
Yes.
no?
Yes, actually with any ice cream. Actually, Wendy's fries with Frosties, I think is even better.
Never had a Wendy's before. I don't
Huh?
think.
Wendy's fries with Frosty, which is from Wendy's. It's Wendy's ice cream. Their ice cream's a little bit different.
I wanted to try McDonald's caramel popcorn McFlurry.
Is it still? It's gone now or what?
I think it's still there, but I just haven't tried it yet.
Oh well, you guys can go. All right, cool. Hope you guys enjoyed this random chat and the hot takes and stuff. Yeah, nothing else.
Nothing else, sir.
All right.
See you
Thanks
guys
for
later.
coming.
See you guys.